Hi, um, this is June Paul, and I just needed to come on here and say this. I was having a conversation the other day with someone about addictions. And a lot of times when we talk about addictions, we tend to talk about them only in terms of things like alcohol and drugs. But people have addictions to other things. We have addictions to wrong attitudes. We have addictions to wrong attitudes about just about everything there is in our human life to experience. And it occurred to me that workaholism is rarely talked about in terms of addiction. We talk about our need to be busy, etc., etc. But when all of our focus is on work, whether it's because we were taught that way, that work comes first, or whether we were forced into that lifestyle due to all sorts of circumstances in life, some of them taught and some caught, some made by some that occur by wrong decisions. But there are people who say, and they'll blame it on their home life, and they'll say, "Well, I get along better with everybody at work." Well, if you're spending 16 hours a day with people at work, yeah, you're closer to them. They have become your family. You're addicted to your work. It's not that your home life is as bad as what you think it is. It's that you're never there, so you don't know these people. They're strangers to you. And it's very difficult to communicate when the only amount of time you're spending with people at home are your sleeping hours and maybe an hour or two to eat. And so you lose your ability to communicate. You become a workaholic to avoid stress. And when you decide to face the fact that you're a workaholic, you lose your identity. The same happens for people who are withdrawing from alcohol, drugs, or whatever lifestyle they're in that is not their true self, not of their true nature. So, withdrawal from anything that we're addicted to throws us off balance, not just physically, you know, not just chemically. Our body deals with chemicals, even with workaholism withdrawal. So you look in the mirror and you ask yourself, who the heck am I if I'm not this person? If I'm not drinking all the time, who am I? What do I do? If I'm not smoking cigarettes or drugs all the time, who am I? What am I doing? If I'm not out fishing all the time because I don't like being home, who am I? If I'm out at the exercise club all the time and I'm so focused on my physical appearance, my body, and my strength, who am I if I'm not at the club? If I have to be camping all the time instead of spending time with other family members, who am I? So you start to go through this, and then you lose touch as you mature in life, as you get older. You lose touch with your family members because they grow up and they have their families and they have their jobs and they have their things that they're addicted to. If the only thing an artist does is create art all the time, and only go to art things, who are they when they're not an artist? If the only thing a singer does is hang around the singing crowd and perform, who are they when they're not doing that? So, whether it's your recreation or your work, sometimes you find yourself suddenly facing the fact that you're addicted to it, and you have to ask yourself, who am I? So, addictions, the worst thing about them, no matter what kind they are, is that they rob you of your authentic identity. God has a plan for your life bigger and better than any of your addictions.